Your Town Matters is funded by the Government of Canada through the Local Journalism Initiative and supported by Cactus Media, Canada's independent community television association.
I'm Vicki Hogarth and welcome to NB Votes on CHCO, a chance to get to know your candidates before the municipal election on November 28th. On this particular show, we will meet the council candidates for the Municipal District of St. Stephen. Each candidate was given up to 3 minutes to introduce themselves and their platform to voters. Their speeches were taped before a live audience at the Garcelon Civic Centre. Starting in alphabetical order, here are the candidates for Ward 1.
Good afternoon. My name is Brian Cornish. Thank you for the opportunity to introduce myself and share my thoughts. My mandate, accountable to the residents of the new Municipality District of St. Stephen. Assist in the development of our new town, about 8,500 people. To listen and react. Help our town prosper. Traveling the Ward 1 in the rural area for the last 3 weeks, I've picked up the following issues or opportunities that some of our residents would like handled. Policing, tax and assessment, homelessness, lack of affordable housing, medical clinics, road maintenance, electrical outages, job growth, growing drug situation, junkyards location, and the preservation of the Milltown Power Dam. First, let's take a reality check. The provincial government made the decision several years ago to proceed with amalgamation of urban and rural entities. It's a done deal. Let's treat the current state as an opportunity to develop a new town that we can manage. Rural residents are worried about their country lifestyle, not too happy of becoming a town, and of course, taxes. Let's not look at these as problems, but look at the issues as opportunities for further municipal district of St. Stephen can address. It's up to you to decide if I'm worthy to represent you. Personal information, I was born and raised in Charlotte County. I now live in Mayfield. 25 years of international business consulting for many large organizations. Local government experience, 10 years a member of the LSD Regional Planning Committee, currently chair of Western Charlotte Local Service District, and on the team that was appointed 11 months ago to the advisory committee for the transition to the new town municipal district of St. Stephen. My work experience, engineering manager, engineering instructor, systems analyst, quality control, strategic planner, project management, international business consultant. I've worked in the USA, Canada, British West Indies, and China. I had a dream. Someone else did a long time ago, but I had a dream. The way we were a long time ago, but not really that long ago, we had lumber mills, fertilizer plants, bus stations, train stations, armories, low crime, doctors that made house calls, furniture stores, restaurants, gas stations, a lot of them. Present day, we have 1 grocery store, 2 stations, no Walmart, no theater, no journalism.
Good afternoon, everybody. It's great to see a turnout. My name is Daniel Dow, but I prefer to be called Dan. Most people know me as the strawberry guy, as Elaine and I operated a strawberry U-pick in Barter Settlement for 20 years. I was born in Barter and lived in Barter Settlement all my life, raised 2 children, and we now have 6 grandchildren, and they all reside in that area of Ward 1. Why am I the best choice to be elected on council in Ward 1. I would have to say it's because of my past experience working with a lot of boards that I sat on. I'll list a few of them. Chair of Western Charlotte Advisory Committee, all but one term since its commencement. Agriculture Alliance, Committee on Horizon Hospital, Workers' Comp, St. John, Grand Bay for 2 terms. Chair of Service Commission 10 for 2 terms. Job steward for Local 213 for 11 years, where I worked as a journeyman pipe welder. A lot of people thought I was a farmer all my life. And journeyman pipe fitter for 22 years. I have to say that I'm not funded, not affiliated with, or have never run for any political party in the past or present, and I always worked on behalf of the people that I represented. I'm not here for any hidden agenda that will raise your taxes to support someone's obsessions that will be a never-ending burden for taxpayers. Let's leave that to the private sector. Change is not a bad thing, and it's not about more debt and higher taxes. Change is finding ways to amalgamate our services within the new region, St. Stephen. We have a great opportunity here to work together and create good things. A new town that will bring people here and want to make it flourish. We must always remember, and I'm talking about council, that every dollar that council spends is your dollars. It doesn't belong to council, it belongs to the people that they represent. Thank you very much.
Okay, before I get into my speech and brag about why you should vote for me and all that, I'd like to actually talk about something that made it hard for me to sleep last night, actually. See, I'm a Maritimer, like all of us here, and I love a good storm, which we certainly had last night, and I love sitting in my comfy bed and listening to the storm outside, and it's exactly what I was doing. I was thinking, geez, that's a real humdinger out there. It's, it sounds great. And then it occurred to me. Right now we have 30 active homeless people that we know about in St. Stephen. Dozens of them are sleeping in tents right now. That means dozens of people were sleeping in tents last night throughout that storm last night. That's something we really need to think about and keep in the back of our minds. It's real. It's out there. But anyway. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Tony Mann. I would first like to thank the hardworking, dedicated, and very talented staff at CHCO for hosting and putting on this event. We are quite fortunate here in Charlotte County, given the state of media and journalism today, where it is sometimes difficult to find even a credible or unbiased source of news, that we have organizations like CHCO, the Courier, and Charlotte FM here in this county. I'm running for Ward 1, a ward that I have spent the majority of my life living in, whether it be in Little Ridge, Old Ridge, or where I currently reside, which is Barter Settlement Road. I am always first and foremost a father. My children and my family will always come first for me. And I am very fortunate that I have such a great wife and partner beside me, and she and I are AFLA providers for the province and are very proud of that fact. This work allows us to open our hearts and care for some of our society's most vulnerable peoples. And I would actually be very happy to discuss the great provincial program that we have, the AFLA program, with anybody afterwards if they like, as there's a great need for care providers right now. The main issues that I, as well as all of you, or all of us discussing here this afternoon, are generally ones that are much larger than just a single neighborhood or even an entire community. I know, however, that with the right people, we can accomplish and succeed in solving these problems, not just with Band-Aid non-solutions that we've seen in the past. But that is why I'm calling for all candidates and the current respective councils to join with me in immediately asking for a select committee on housing. This may not be the best forum to call, or for this call, but we simply cannot wait. The cold weather months are upon us now, and we are running out of time. We cannot wait until January 1st.
Well, hello everyone. It's good to see you all in the audience, and for those who are watching later, my name is Joyce Wright, and mother of 6, Nana to 7, born right here in Charlotte County Hospital. Lived here in St. Stephen all of my life, and actually my 5 acres in the rural area is part of where I grew up off the original homestead. And growing up, my address was RR4 St. Stephen, so I always actually thought I was a St. Stephener, and when I was a little older and found out I wasn't, I was actually quite perturbed by that, because I did love St. Stephen, and I didn't realize just being outside that magic invisible line made me not a St. Stephener. But at the same time, I loved my rural lifestyle, and there was a reason that when I got married and started my own family, I didn't move inside the town limits. So I am in a very unique, I guess, position of being next door to that magic invisible line and loving both parts of it ever since I was a child. I have also been a landlord for over 20 years, and I do provide affordable housing, and I believe that perspective can bring some invaluable insights to the new council table. As far as my experience in working cooperatively, I did serve on the Southwest New Brunswick Service Commission for 5 years, and for 4 consecutive years I was elected by my peers to be chair of that table. And one of the big projects we brought, whether you love it or hate it, we brought the Blue Bin Recycling Program to the region, working with all the mayors from St. Andrews, Blacks Harbour, St. George, Macadam, Harvey, and the islands. And of course the LSD representatives such as Wade Hawkins, who knows this process inside out better than I do. In 2020, I didn't reoffer to serve because I wanted to focus on my career. I do have a day job, and I'm on my final level of studies for that. So I'm excited to put my name back forward and jump back into serving the community that I love so much. As far as my platform goes, there's a lot that's going to be changing with this amalgamation that we really still have no idea how it's going to come to pass. What I can promise is to be a strong voice for my constituents. I can promise to work cooperatively. I know we can't always control what we've been handed in life or by the provincial governments, but I do know that we can always control how we react to it, and we can control what we do with it. So what I want to say today is we've been handed this basket of amalgamation, and like the Regional Service Commission became an example to the rest of the province of how to work together cooperatively, I believe this municipal district of St. Stephen can be the trendsetter in showing the rest of the province just how we make this happen. So let's make the best of it. Municipal District of St. Stephen, let's show them how it's done.
Those are your candidates for Ward 1. Bill Olson, who is also running in Ward 1, was unable to attend the recording session at the Garcelon. Now voters will elect 2 of the 5 candidates for Ward 1. Next up, though, here are your candidates for Ward 2.
Good afternoon. I'm Bob Brown, a candidate for council in Ward 2. The amalgamation process has been cumbersome and often unclear. It has created uncertainty, unease, and great concern among all of us. Working together in a spirit of respect, cooperation, trust, and transparency, we must address the common good of all the residents. The different needs and concerns of each ward must be recognized and appreciated. The differences can be the thread to help us build a strong, united, and spirited community. In the end, it is all about community building, delivery of services, and the cost we pay through our taxes. We must be a competitive and welcoming community that's able to attract new immigrants, employees, healthcare workers, etc. I believe I can help in this community building process. I have 18 years experience in municipal politics as mayor, deputy mayor, and councillor. 32 years as an educator and school principal at St. Stephen High School, St. Stephen Middle School, and Lawrence Station Regional School. I believe I can assist in helping this process unfold in a fair and cooperative manner. Policing is also a concern of many of the residents. We pay for this service, so it's our obligation as a council to understand the total cost, the delivery of service, the policing services that are provided. We all ask, what can the municipal district expect? An in-depth conversation re-policing is needed with the new council at an early basis. The issue of homelessness was shockingly evident in St. Stephen this past summer. Residents were concerned when they found strangers living in their backyards. The problem must be addressed, and the town, working with the new Committee for the Unsheltered and the provincial government, must place an emphasis on subsidized and affordable housing and effective social and mental health services. I have fought many battles for St. Stephen, the Third Bridge, the Civic Centre, and health care. I led the battle for years on the fight to save our hospital, and that battle is ongoing. We must never let our guard down in that regard. Thank you very much.
Okay, I was first elected to, my name is Mark Harding. I was first elected to council in 2004. And if you take a look over to my left, you'll see my first mayor sitting there, Bob Brown. He was my mayor in 2004 to 2008. I didn't run again in 2008. I didn't start up again until 2012. But I have 14 years experience in making resolutions for the town. I was born in St. Stephen, but I was raised in Rolling Dam. I'm married to Jeff Harding. I have 2 children, Darren Miller of Calgary and Melanie Miller of St. Stephen. I have 2 grandchildren, Isabel and Emmeline of Suffolk, England. I retired after 29 years on Canada Customs, or CBSA. I'm one of the original founders of Fundy House, and for the last 11 years, my husband and I has been doing once a month Meals on Wheels. And now I am a member of the newly minted Milltown Activities Group. 2 notable achievements during my time. 2013 was what we're standing in today, the Garcelon Civic Centre. And in 2022, the aerial track that we tried so hard to get for years. Yes, we have a homelessness problem, but we cannot let our town be defined by homelessness. We are a loving and kind community. We have volunteers that come out of the woodwork every time we need them. We have great businesses, old and new. We have an active Chamber of Commerce in this town and a wonderful BIA, of which Heather is part of, actually, pretty much part of. We have numerous clubs and churches that provide great services. There's one very sad thing in our community. We're losing the Milltown Dam. And I was looking at that this morning as I was coming downtown. That is a beautiful structure. And we are losing it. We're losing it in 2023, and there's nothing that we can do to stop it. It is a government decision. But outside of that, we are the total package, St. Stephen, New Brunswick. And 2 things that I'd like to see in the coming council with everybody else is total transparency from the mayor to the council to the citizens of the town, and less frivolous spending. I have a history of listening to public concerns and bringing them to council. I am not reluctant to question council decisions if I feel it is in the best interest of the people I represent. I am willing to continue to work for the city, for the citizens of St. Stephen as before, as well as for the new citizens who will soon become part of the large community of the municipal district of St. Stephen. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Dave Heislip. I'm running in Ward 2. I'd like to thank everybody out there for showing up, and also my fellow candidates, because I know it's tough putting your name in the hat to run for this. I grew up in Moores Mills and came into town in 1981, graduated from St. Stephen High School in 1982, moved to Newfoundland between Newfoundland and Halifax for about 20 years. I did a biology degree in Newfoundland, worked in cancer research, and decided to do something totally different. I went into civil engineering and went to Halifax and came back to Newfoundland. I returned back home in 2002, just before my father passed away in 2004, and was taking care of my mother until she passed away a couple of years ago. She was probably on council for about 20 years when we came in town, so kind of followed in her footsteps. My wife said if I get nervous to focus on her, and she took a place right behind the cameraman. There she is. So I'll have to I'll have to focus on somebody else. But I believe, and I ran on this before, I believe the key to an effective councillor is being approachable, being accountable, and being active in the community. And I was active on council. I've been on a number of boards, including the Innovation and Technology Board, recently the Canadian First Basketball, Charlotte County Museum, the NB Power Legacy Committee. The dam was mentioned before. They are, the plans are to remove that next year, and they have a legacy committee and up to $1 million available for possibly the Milltown area. So I've also been active. I also like to be active in the community because that's where you get to hear people's opinions and whether you like them or not. I mean, you have to be accountable. So I try, if I don't have the information in front of me, I try to point them towards the person that can answer their question. So I go to from hockey games to theater productions to Friday night coffee houses just to be active in the community. So I try to be as active as possible. I think that the key, and that's what I base my decision making on, is based on asking the right questions in council, and is to getting public feedback and using the facts. I base my decisions on facts and try to get as many opinions as I can, and that's through being active in the community. And so that's what I think the key is for making good decisions on council, and I'll continue to do that. So I just wish everybody to get out on November 28th and get out to vote. And thank you very much.
Thank you. I want to, first of all, thank Charlotte County TV for hosting this event, and Vicki and Patrick and everyone here from Charlotte County TV. And also I want to thank all the great people so far out there that are showing their support for me offering to run for Town Council in Ward 2, St. Stephen. And actually, I was very pleased to hear a number of the issues addressed by other candidates running. So I think with the right leadership, we can get and solve the issues that are happening in this community. Because I can tell you, I've talked to a lot of people in Ward 2, and I'm hearing the fear, the anger. They want change, and that's what I'm hearing, and a lot of their issues. So I'm not going to get into talking about why I'm qualified for council, because I am, and I'm knowledgeable about local government and also other levels of government, which I think I will use those skills as a councillor in Ward 2. And popular opinion from the people in the community is stronger leadership is needed. And I promise I'm going to be that leadership. So I want to get in some of the issues some of the other candidates have talked about, but I'm all about being proactive. And actually, I've heard about policing. People are living in fear in our community. And the question I'm hearing, what police? What police? This should not be happening. As Bob Brown mentioned when he was at the podium here, we pay a lot of money for policing in this community, and I know that. And I'll tell you, we're not getting our bang for our buck. I tell you, if I'm elected, we will get a bang for our buck. And I'm promising everyone and asking for their support to elect me councillor. So I also want to mention slightly, even though it's a big issue, on homelessness. Everyone deserves a roof over their head. And yes, that issue has to be addressed. And I'm going to go even further. I'm very pleased about the warming center and that happening, because it was an obligation. We had to do something, and I'm pleased for that. But I want to go even further. Why isn't the warming center open now? And there's so many other issues that you've heard about. Housing. I've been proactive. I went to Fredericton, toured the tiny home community, so I'm very proactive. So for for a change and results in action. Please elect me in Ward 2 for council.
Good afternoon. My name is Emily Rodas, formerly Cunningham, and I'm a 29-year-old registered social worker born and raised on the Ledge Road in St. Stephen. The reason I'm running for council is due to the challenges that I'm seeing on the ground as a frontline social worker and the need for our most vulnerable community members to have a voice. This includes youth, families, seniors, unsheltered individuals, and those struggling with mental health and addiction. I worked frontline rurally for almost 5 years with Extramural, with seniors living in absolute poverty with no family doctor or ability to pay for prescriptions. I see how families are impacted by our lack of services. I currently act as a community coordinator with Sophia Recovery Center, and I'm seeing firsthand again how addiction and mental health is impacting our community. We can't turn a blind eye to the ways in which our community is currently struggling. We need to set priorities as a council and actively work together to make informed and solution-focused decisions. We can no longer make decisions based on just personally how we feel about an issue or wait for the province to step up on certain things, something I've seen so prevalent in past councils. We need to advocate for our local needs and seek expert advice when we don't have the answers. My key priorities are to take an active role in developing a municipal plan to recruit family doctors, the development of affordable housing, supporting seniors, and investing in youth programs and local recreational resources. Although I work mainly with women, I also see a huge gap in our community for men's mental health and addiction services, something I also feel needs to be prioritized. Lastly, I think it's important to mention that during my social work degree, the focus of my work placement was the Housing First movement in Fredericton. I worked for months with many community partners, the City of Fredericton, the Mayor's Task Force on Homelessness, Affordable Housing Committee, and the Community Action Group on Homelessness. I worked with architects, with nonprofit leaders, political leaders, and a variety of key players to further the movement of ending homelessness in Fredericton. I'm incredibly confident that this experience will provide the council with an educated, solution-focused perspective on our most urgent issue right now, which is our growing unsheltered population. I see myself as being a highly accessible council member playing an active role based on the concerns expressed directly to me in our community. I'm young, I'm educated, I'm a proud member of the LGBTQ community and have on-the-ground experience with all of these major issues. Thank you for your time, and I'm hopeful you'll give me a shot at providing a fresh new perspective for council.
Hello, my name is Jameson Smith, and I'm running for position of councillor in Ward 2 in St. Stephen on November 28th. I'm an entrepreneur with a passion for business. I'm a local business owner, a co-owner of a plumbing heating company called Tradeforce. I'm also a husband and a father of 3 teenagers that every day give me the drive to succeed. I'm a St. Stephen resident who, after living in Calgary for 12 years, made the decision to return to St. Stephen and raise my family in this community, in this place that is dear to my heart along the banks of the St. Croix River. I'm running because I see the potential of this place. I love this town, and I'm running to forge a new relationship with our newly elected members in Wards 1 and 3 and work together as a united team for the betterment of this new expanded municipality of St. Stephen. I'm running because, as a business owner, I believe things can be done better, faster, and more efficiently, and perhaps even more cost effectively. I'm running to stop our founders and forefathers of this town from rolling in their graves at where this town has ended up by helping to fix and reverse the downward course we have been on for decades. Like every one of you, I've witnessed our downtown slowly fade away, one business at a time, one historic property at a time, and seemingly endless downward spiral. We've missed the boat on opportunities that could have provided tax revenue and great paying jobs. We've watched crime increase across our area. Many of us have been hit by these thieves, myself included. Law enforcement has had its hands full, is stretched thin. There are times when we have no officers on duty. The crime spikes at these times. We need a solution now. Our homeless situation and lack of affordable housing has to be solved immediately with solutions that help vulnerable people, people with drug addictions, and folks with mental health issues. Solutions that help people that have never had a positive role model, encouragement, or a stable home life and have fallen through the cracks. I'm running for council to spur new ideas, bring forward exciting endeavors, and that we as a community can tackle together and grow our area while at the same time inspiring our youth and others to maybe stick around and start a business right here in St. Stephen. We need to encourage young professionals and their families to move to our community, to raise their children in this safe, prosperous, and beautiful place for generations to come. But we have issues that need to be addressed. We need cameras installed downtown to identify and deter the vandals that are damaging our businesses and tearing up our streets. After 12 long years of waiting, we need the hotel finished and operational. We need to research developing our own revenue streams so that we are not solely dependent on the province for our budget needs. We need our roads repaired, paved, airport fully developed, our business park expanded to attract opportunities that benefit all of us. We need our border arena developed into exciting recreational space. I'm only one person, just one vote at the table, just one St. Stephener who wants to make a difference. It's absolutely imperative that you elect a forward-thinking, energetic, inspiring group of members to this council. Only then can we lead an army of volunteers and citizens to mobilize and work together on big ideas made right here in St. Stephen.
Benjamin Franklin and a bunch of people on the internet once said, "If you want something done, ask a busy person." My name is Tanner Stewart, and I'm extremely busy. I own a construction company in Alberta that employs welders, iron workers, and pipe fitters. Here in St. Stephen, I run Stewart Farms, a wellness-focused company that employs over 40 great people. In the audience, I have my young family, which includes my beautiful wife and 2 great kids. The reason I decided to throw my name in the hat to serve this community is that I see a lot of potential for growth. Over the last few years, I've witnessed my former hometown of Miramichi explode with development, new business, and population. Coincidentally, over that same time frame, the citizens had elected a group of busy people with lots of ideas. This community deserves that same level of growth. St. Stephen is one of the most beautiful places in the world. Where else can you sit in front of rushing rapids, and a few hours later, the tide has risen so high that the same spot has become like a reflective sheet of glass? Beyond the scenery, our people are skilled, hardworking, and generous. Right here, out of little old St. Stephen, my company ships the best CBD-infused wellness products in Canada, as far as BC and the Yukon. This community made that possible. It's for these reasons I felt compelled to come here today and ask for your vote. I don't have the time or patience to join a team that's not going to get things done. We must approach the issues and needs of our region in an urgent, meaningful, and effective manner. On housing, we must do what we can to encourage developers to build as much inventory as possible. On homelessness, we need to ensure we have the proper funding and support in place from the province to get everyone off the streets. Sorry. St. Stephen needs more funding for our playgrounds, our roads, our hospitals, and our social, fire, and police services. There are 2 ways the government can generate more revenue: growth or taxes. Well, I choose growth. The Greater Council representing the Greater St. Stephen will be overseeing one of the most unique areas in Canada. With the proper organization and teamwork, we should be able to bring as much new business and people to this area as we'd like. If you choose to vote for Tanner Stewart, I'll do my best to support this new council.
Hi, my name is Vic Thiessen. I first lived in the St. Stephen area between 1985 and 1987 and moved back to St. Stephen in April of 2019. Between 1991 and 2016, I worked primarily as the executive director or CAO of 4 nonprofit organizations, leading all of these organizations through periods of transition and strategic planning. I'm currently teaching a film course at St. Stephen's University, and since May of 2021, I have been honored to serve as a member of the St. Stephen Town Council. In that role, I chair the town's Innovation and Technology Committee and act as a liaison with organizations working on poverty reduction in St. Stephen. 3 months ago, there was a sudden increase in concerns about the growing number of unsheltered people in St. Stephen. Responding to those concerns, I helped to found the Unsheltered Population Working Group, bringing together expert representatives from 20 organizations, government agencies, and companies to seek effective solutions to the issues of housing and homelessness. I serve as chair and secretary in this working group, which has met regularly during these past 3 months and has acquired municipal and provincial funding at a record pace as we work to first provide an outreach worker and a warming center for the unsheltered during the winter months, and then to seek ways to provide transitional housing, supportive housing, and affordable housing for the longer term. I have been blown away by the level of expertise, the countless ideas, and the inexhaustible enthusiasm coming out of the group as we work together to find solutions, just as I've been blown away by the number of cutting-edge organizations and innovators that we have here in St. Stephen. At a recent conference of New Brunswick municipalities, I heard councillors and mayors from around the province express their envy about what we have been able to achieve here in St. Stephen. With our first-class regional service commission and organizations like Future St. Stephen, Neighborhood Works, Vibrant Communities, the St. Croix Vocational Centre, and Project Village. I'm proud and delighted to call this beautiful town my home, and I know that you are too. Your generosity and engagement have impressed me, and I am always eager to hear about any concerns or ideas you may have. I've heard you share not only concerns about housing, but among other things, also about our health services, especially mental health and addictions, and about how we can work together with landlords and the RCMP more effectively to ensure that we all feel safe in our homes. I look forward to continuing to serve you as a town councillor as we address these concerns, working together to ensure that St. Stephen continues to flourish in the years ahead. Thank you.
Those are your candidates for Ward 2. Ghislaine Wheaton, who is also running in Ward 2, was unable to attend the recording session due to a death in the family, and we sent her our condolences. Now, voters will elect 4 of the 9 candidates in Ward 2, but next up, here are your candidates for Ward 3.
Well, hello folks. My name's John Barker, and I'd like to start by saying it's great to see people engaged in this process. All the other municipal elections, I don't think anybody really was, you wouldn't look out and see people looking back, that's for sure. I want all the same things that you guys want. I want better roads, I want better policing, I want housing, I want to know what's going on with the homeless community. There's lots of different ways we can come to the answers to all these. The main thing is we're going to be a council. That means a vote. I don't have a magic wand. I want to take what you think to them and what they think back to you. So it's communication, so you know what you're facing, so you can be prepared, whether good, bad, or otherwise. That's pretty much it. You might know me from my shop downtown, St. Croix Army Surplus. Maybe I played guitar at your wedding. I don't know. But one thing's for sure, I'm not afraid to tell them what you think. And I'm not afraid to bring the information back to you. And that's pretty much it.
Hi, I'm Chris Booth. I'm running for Ward 3 councillor. I was born and raised in St. Stephen. I love this town. It feels like home to almost everybody that's here. But when I was younger, the lack of opportunity made me leave here, just to survive. I have now 5 kids. I moved back. It still feels like home, not like it used to be, but there's still a lack of opportunity here. And, we need to address the police working for the community. We need to get it back to where it was, where it feels more like a community. The street dances, they're all gone, right? There's no street dances. There's nothing here anymore for anybody. The old arena could be used to create revenue for the failing businesses and also recreation for our children. so that we could drop them off with $5 on a Friday and Saturday night and have a place to stay and hang out with their friends like we all did, right? And actually bring people into the town with a flea market, thousands of people. This very building here, we should be getting as many concerts together to get people inside the community to bring money inside so that it's not a burden on the taxpayer. Homelessness, we need a shelter. We need to work with our churches, with our nonprofits, get them all pulling together to not only get them temporary relief now for a long-term solution for later on. That's rehabilitation. The fire hall, the Oak Bay Fire Hall, we should work at keeping that, right? Not taking away services. The old causeway, we should work at revamping that to bring more people into the community. We need to lay a solid foundation for growth, the right kind of growth. I have 5 kids, like I said, and everyone here has their family, and no one's family should have to leave St. Stephen for lack of opportunity like so many have had to do before. They should feel like it's more like a home, more opportunity here. There should be public transportation. We need to get doctors here, right? A lot of doctors in Toronto, they've never driven a car. They own homes and they've never driven a car before. We need public transportation to take it off of emergency services. Thank you.
Okay, my name is Earl Eastman. I was born and raised here. My ancestral roots actually started before even this became a town. We were a town of shipbuilders at the time, and I went on to go into the military after high school, and I spent 33 years within the military itself. I've been all over the world. I've been all over every province in Canada. I've seen and experienced quite a lot. And we deal, like you're saying, dealing with the homelessness and stuff like that. I've been in refugee camps and all about, our problem is around here is with the drug problem, of course. And in that, in town council, this is one of the problems we'll have to attack for sure. Policing is another thing, because with drugs, people go out and start to steal, and then you have to involve in the policing. With that, with the town council and such, I'm a team player. In the military, we were born and bred to do that in the leadership roles. In my stint in the military, my last tour was overseas in Afghanistan. It's the size of Saskatchewan. I had 100 people working for me, and I was fiscally responsible for hundreds of millions of dollars, actually. So, again, within here in the town itself, I think I can apply my leadership skills and experience within the fiscal spending of what we need to do and what the province is going to let us do. I wasn't a big fan of the amalgamation. However, being in the LSD for the last 3 years as part of the committee, it was apparent that we were going to end up having to amalgamate. So I felt that maybe I should step up at 64 years old, when I should be retiring, and give it a shot to help out, be part of the team, and see the town progress. This town has got lots of potential, tons of potential. A good business plan, a good council together with a business plan, and a wide vision that's out there, we can do lots of stuff. We can actually make this town grow. So, again, I threw my name in the hat and for Ward 3, and if you think I'm the right guy, vote for me.
Good afternoon. My name is Wade Greenlaw, and I'm running for council for Ward 3. I'm very happy to be here today and to be given the opportunity to speak to you. I grew up here in St. Stephen and graduated from St. Stephen High School way back in 1980. So having lived here most of my life, I've seen lots of changes. I spent some years away from here in the Navy and lived in a variety of places, so I've seen many different types of communities. When I finished my tour, I had lots of opportunities to stay in those areas, but it was very important for me to raise my children back home. I knew the quality of life that was here, the safe, close-knit community we have, and how lucky we are to have this place to call home. So you're probably wondering how I ended up in front of you here today. Well, 8 years ago, I went to a local service district advisory committee meeting to see what it was all about. I ended up getting elected as the chair, and subsequently that led to me being on the Regional Service Commission Board and on 3 of the subcommittees, their Human Resources Committee, Planning Management Committee, and the Planning Review and Adjustment Committee, and ended up on the Recycling Committee as well. So that's what I get for volunteering. The time and experience I've gained by being in these roles has given me a lot of firsthand knowledge into the region and the needs, the issues and potential solutions. Early on, it was very frustrating at times, but I couldn't walk away from it no matter how frustrating it got. That's because I care deeply about seeing this area succeed and for it to grow and prosper, and I knew that I could contribute. I have a pretty diverse career and a lot of experience that I can apply directly to a councillor's role. I can't promise specific things, but what I can do is promise you all that I will ensure that the taxes are based on the level of services provided, and that I will work as hard as I can and hold our council accountable. I want to listen to the residents and hear what they have to say and what their concerns are, not just in my own ward, but everywhere. Even though I represent the constituents of my ward, my role is to do the best for the whole community in the region. I want the public to understand what our priorities are and why we're working on them. I want to help build trust and confidence between the residents and the council through transparency, communication, and making sound decisions based on the right information. I want the people of the Municipal District of St. Stephen to be able to say, our council does a great job, works hard for us, and listens to us. I know there are burning issues right now like taxes, inflation, homelessness, policing, and the affordable housing shortage. I know businesses are having a hard time finding employees. It's a lot to deal with all at the same time for any person, let alone a mayor and council. There's lots of information out there and programs to help us fully understand these issues and come up with the right solutions. These are not unique to our community. We need to drive government agencies to help us. We need to leverage them. It's going to take teamwork and a lot of hard work and persistence to be able to put some of these issues behind us. We need to roll up our sleeves and get to work as mayor and council and as citizens. The status quo is not acceptable. I want to be that driving force, and that is why I chose to put my name forward for councillor for Ward 3. Thank you.
Good afternoon. My name is Kim Henry, yet many of you may know me as Kim Ross. I worked as a registered nurse at the Charlotte County Hospital for 37 years until retiring last year from oncology. I live in St. Stephen for 25 years, and I now live in St. David Ridge. Some of my thoughts in preserving and protecting a person's quality of life, I think of words like privacy, peaceful, nature, hardworking, respectful, neighborhood, community, hands helping each other, recreational relief, all come to mind. Things change, generations change, communities change. So I believe in having a balanced town strength and rural strength can help us build a municipal district people will want to move to. I will serve in the interest of the community. I will vote on subjects as a councillor from Ward 3 on development plans, bylaws, to help maintain our rural quality of life while respectfully being part of the municipality or the municipal district of St. Stephen. I will vote to keep the tax base reasonable and reflective to rural life. I will commit to ethical and informed decision making as it pertains to subjects of council. I will ensure the welfare and interests of Ward 3 are represented. I will do this by being open-minded. I will listen carefully to your concerns and ideas and perspectives. I'll respect your feelings and opinions on council matters. I will communicate clearly and regularly. By 1, you may want to seek out individual information, and I will report back to you individually. 2, we could have planned meetings at the local community hall every couple of months to update the ward on council agendas and hear questions and concerns you want taken back to council. We must make this board a balanced and informed council to serve the whole municipal district of St. Stephen. I'm excited to promote the new municipal district. We now have a provincial campground, nature parks, more St. Croix river frontage, saltwater bay, farm properties, eggs, fish, beef, blueberries, Christmas trees, local vegetables, recreation, golf course, boating, motor and non-motor, four-wheeling, snowmobile trails, fishing, camping. We have an airport, businesses to self-sustain us, car dealerships, garages, furniture, electronics, green, we have it all. Who wouldn't want to live here, invest here, or grow old here? Am I a new councillor? Absolutely. Am I capable? Absolutely. I will represent and reflect the residents of Ward 3 while working within the municipal district of St. Stephen. Thank you for considering me as your councillor. Thank you. I just
Hi there, my name's Kyle Moffat. Thank you all for coming out today. It's great to see you all out here. Born and raised here in St. Stephen, I think it's only smart for me to run for town council. Living most of my life in Oak Bay, growing up in a small family, self-employed, I do believe it's important for us to all stand together and work together to do what's best for our community and to do what's right. Now, I know there's going to be some hard times faced with this amalgamation and a new council, especially with the standing issues that I feel most of my fellow colleagues here agree with. My biggest one would be homelessness, and I'm not sure how we're going to go about solving that, whether it be a short-term solutions for homeless families that just need a few nights to get back on their feet, or medical aid for those that are suffering from substance abuse or mental illnesses. But I do believe that working hard, dedication, and teamwork truly does pay off. And believing in this small town and growing up as a young boy, seeing it boom and sadly watching it fall, it is my dream to see this beautiful community and the hard-working men and women to bring it back together and watch it boom again. It may take a few years for us to get there, but you have my word. If elected, I will fight for that to happen. We need strong, dedicated, compassionate members that will be a calm, respectful representative of our town and surrounding areas and ensure we all get what we deserve. I know the next few years will be full of hard, stressful times with a lot of unknowns, but I plan to be one of those people, along with 7 others of these fine folks up here and a mayor and all of you folks. Together, we can make the municipality of St. Stephen that place to be again. Thank you.
Those are your Ward 3 candidates. And that concludes CHCO's NB Votes special election coverage for the council candidates for the Municipal District of St. Stephen. Now be sure to do your part and vote in the 2022 municipal election on November 28th. I'm Vicki Hogarth. Thanks for watching.